Welcome to the Crazy Cool Family Podcast with Don and Suzanne Manning.
A podcast where we share with you great insights about everything family from over 30 years of parenting 7 kids and over a decade of equipping parents through our Crazy Cool Family ministry.
So let us inspire and equip you to build your best family. Hello, all you crazy cool families out there. This month, the month of May, we are talking to our mamas, mothers out there. I love it that the whole month of May is set aside for mothers. Okay, maybe it's not the whole month of May. Maybe there's just one day, but it should totally be the whole month of May set aside for mothers, because reality is our job is hard. Anyway, so we're doing podcasts on this amazing resource that we have written for you, a collection of letters to mothers. And I asked Macy, my third born daughter, to come in and do a podcast with me. And so we showed her the list of letters, and I said, Macy, which letter resonates with you the most? And she said,
Grrr. Can you guess?
Is that GRRR capital?
Or this is the other one. Beep, beep, beeping, beeping, beep, beep, beeping. Anger. I chose anger.
Oh, yes, to the mom who is angry. Oh, mm-hmm. I can relate. I feel for you. Macy was my daughter that I say all the time, if I had a child that I could raise over again in this season of life that I'm in now, I would pick Macy every time. Because she was
the cutest,
yes,
the funniest,
yes, and the smartest.
Wow, I wasn't going to say that one. The smartest. That's good. Go ahead.
Yes, go on.
I was going to say I was over emotional and probably overstimulated.
Yeah. She was emotional, and she was very you were very comfortable with your expressing your emotions, very confident in expressing them. And I had grown up enough to know that you shouldn't do that or couldn't do that and suppress them. And so I would say you were probably actually healthier than me at the age of 2 and 3 than I was at the age of 25, 26 when I had you. So, anyway, all that to say is that Macy is an emotional person, and she's tied and she's connected to it really well. And I would say she's very healthy. And when I raised her, I was not as healthy as she is.
And so now I'm 30 and I'm married to the sweetest man in the whole world. And we have Selah, who's 2.5, almost 3. And we just had Harvey about 6 months ago. So we have 2 kiddos, and I told my mom this before we started recording. I resonate with the mom who is angry, that letter, which we're going to read in a second. But I literally said this to my husband the other night. I was like, I have never been more mad at anyone in my life for more days in a row or more chunks of time in a row than I have been at my toddler, Selah, since my next baby Harvey was born. Like, something shifted in the last 6 or 7 months. I would say it was probably my last trimester of pregnancy too. So let's say the last year, that things have really shifted, where I have been exasperated, angry, frustrated, lost my self-control, yelled, screamed, thrown stuff, just like everything that you don't want to do to a little kid or be in front of a little kid when it comes to an outburst of anger. I've struggled with it in a really sad and honestly discouraging way. So I really feel like I've stepped into a piece of parenting that I don't know how to do, and I'm very humbled. And I feel very low, and I would say even discouraged in this season of parenting. And I'm already pretty hard on myself. Like, my parents will say that they didn't really discipline me very sternly, because it's like that line from Little Rascals. It's like, if you were my children, I'd punish you. And the kids are like, if we were your kids, we'd punish ourselves. And that's what I did growing up. So I just got punished myself. So I have to take a step back and remember, there's a lot of areas that are encouraging and good. But when this showed up on a list of letters, I was like, yes, I want to think about this and pray about this and make space to talk about this with my mom because she grew up with me and the rest of my siblings and grew up, and my dad too grew up learning how to handle their anger, and they did it really imperfectly, but they tried. Like I feel like y'all really tried to like
Yeah.
overcome your anger in parenting, and I want to do that too. So I'm getting in the car, going on the drive to talk about anger and how we can overcome it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so so Selah has got the big emotions that you have, and the passion that you had as a little girl.
I mean,
And
would you
so
say so, Mom? I feel like I meant to ask you that tonight. Like, you know her and you knew me. I don't remember me so much as a little girl. I know my heart and I know how big and how deep I feel things, but like, would you say her and I are similar? Like, I'm raising a mini me
absolutely 100%, you are raising a mini you better than I raised you.
because some
Um,
kids are just emotional and toddlers especially. Like, they don't always have the
right.
language and the tools. And I feel like she's actually so smart and so logical, but she still figures out how to press every single one of my buttons. And so I'm like, what is it about her that makes me want to throw her in the air, you know? Like, what's happening? So if anyone can relate to that, I don't know, maybe all your children are perfect and you don't deal with this, then
Maybe
skip
you
to
don't
the
have an
next
anger issue and
podcast.
there's no
But
buttons to push.
if you relate to children pushing your buttons, hopefully we're about to help you a little bit.
Well, like Macy said, like I was there. I was the angry mom. I mean, that was definitely there. The first, for sure, the first decade of parenting. Um, I mean, I went to an anger seminar, to get on top of it because I had these four little girls that I just didn't enjoy being with, all day, every day. And I would go out with my friends and I'd be a radically different person. And I saw that contrast. I saw the difference with, oh my goodness, why am I so much fun with my friends, but I'm not fun with my little girls?
Mm,
I mean, they're my favorite people in the world. God gave them to me as a gift. I say that and I believe that. Why am I so angry with them all the
wow.
time? And so I had to really do a deep dive into my own person and who I am on what is it that makes me so angry. And I literally had to, list out the things that made me angry and
Yeah.
pay attention to those so that they wouldn't just kind of sideswipe me. Like you said, May, there's things that she does that triggers you. Okay, what are those things? Moms out there, are there things that trigger you? Is it your kids? Is it your husband? Is it your job? Is it the dishwasher? What is it that's
Yes, yes, yes,
triggering
yes, yes.
you?
Probably a shorter list is what doesn't trigger me right now.
That's good. Well, yeah, start with a positive. Start with what makes
Yeah.
you happy. That's good. Okay, well, so let me just read this letter to start off with,
Yeah.
just to bless you moms. Um, this is just a letter from me, from my heart to you. We just said in the last podcast that if I could scoop up all the mamas in the world and give them a giant hug and tell them, well done, good and faithful servant, I would. And so that's what I'm saying to you as well. This is who I am and who I was seeing you. I want to affirm and encourage you. And so I say to the angry mom, I see you, I was you. What is it about small children desperately wanting their ridiculous way that drives us to our limit? I remember thinking, thank you, Jesus, for making them so cute because sometimes they drive me crazy.
Amen.
The constant clashing of wills. I want them to put their shoes on, get in the car, and sit quietly at the grocery store. They want to wear different shoes, play with a car seat buckle nonstop, and throw a giant fit on every aisle in the store.
Yep. Did
Does that
all that
resonate?
today. Yep. Check, check, check.
Ah, so many times I had to tell myself, I am the adult here. I need to act like it. Other times I had to walk away from the scene before I lost it. But many times I would unleash my wrath on whoever was around when my anger was triggered. And it was not pretty. I remember looking at their terrified, innocent little faces and instantly feeling remorse for my lack of self control. And I would scoop them up and say, I'm so sorry. Mommy is angry at, and then fill in the blank. Whatever that is that makes you angry, whatever it was at the moment that was making me angry.
Hmm.
And I would ask, did I scare you? And usually they would cry, and I would too, to release the tension that I had created with my angry outburst. For a decade, I battled with anger. Do you remember it, Macy? Do you remember, outside the letter for a second, do you remember me being angry?
Yeah.
I remember y'all telling stories all the time of, oh,
Yeah.
these are the things that are going to make mom mad.
Oh yeah. There's a list. I mean, I would love to like make my own trigger list for you and see like how many. What is that game where if like you have the same one, you don't get the point. But yes, I remember. I remember homeschool was really hard. Waking you up from naps was really hard. Like if we were too loud or something and you were trying to rest when you hurt yourself. There's
Yeah.
just a couple triggers that Selah calls it mean mommy eyes. That I would get that you would get mean mommy eyes and your face would get all scrunched up. Now I have mean mommy eyes. So yeah, but
Oh,
yes.
I love it. Yeah, yeah. And so we'll come back to that in a minute about you and my anger. But to finish this letter out, and the next paragraph says, the things that made me angry. I share with,
Mhm.
if they made a mess that I didn't have the energy to clean up, if I stubbed my toe or hurt myself, if they did not take a nap so that I could not take a nap, and if they fought with each other, if they threw a fit, then I would respond with any of those things, I would respond with anger. I had four daughters under the age of 9 and was pregnant with our first son when I decided I didn't want to be an angry mom anymore. And that decision was half the battle to becoming a not so angry mom. Instead of anger owning me, I started owning it. It is amazing what God can do in us when we bring darkness into light. I started my journey to work through my anger by asking for forgiveness from God and my family. I asked my friends and little girls to pray for me to be aware of the things that made me angry so I could release the hold that they had on me. It was a slow process, and yes, anger still showed up occasionally, but each year it became less. It makes me laugh. Each year that y'all became less needy,
Yeah.
it became
By the
less.
time I was in high school, you were not angry anymore.
I'm an empty
It's
nester
true though.
now. I hardly have anger at all. Just wait,
So
Mom.
the Lord provides.
To wrap up the letter, I hope you decide that today that instead of anger ruling you, it's time for you to own it. Your outbursts can change from being a terrifying moment for your kids to one of the greatest examples for them of your self-control. And then I sign it from from one angry mom also to Suzanne. Um, yeah, I would say that there was a huge shift. There is hope to the angry mom out there. There is hope because I would say that my little boys, who are now men, would not describe me as an angry mom.
Yeah.
They just didn't experience that. I was just a radically different mom to them than I was to the little girls. And so um there is hope. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I can say. And it starts with admitting it. And I think for the longest time I couldn't and I didn't admit that I was angry and that there was things that you guys did or you girls did that made me angry. And there were different triggers that I did have, like I mentioned in there. If I got hurt or if I had to clean up a mess. I remember being heavy laden and pregnant and picking stuff up with my toes because I didn't want to bend over, getting mad um or when y'all fought with each other. I mean, and still, that one is still a trigger to me because when the grandkids fight with each other, that one still kind of rears its ugly head a little bit. Like, wait a minute, stop that. You guys be nice to each other.
Yeah.
And so, anger, if I could just say something really quick, anger is, it's it's very powerful. It's very very powerful. Scriptures the scripture that we included in here is go ahead and be angry. Um, Go ahead and be angry. You do well to be angry, but don't use your anger as fuel for revenge and don't stay angry. Don't go to bed angry. Don't give the devil that kind of foothold in your life. And so, what we're saying here is that anger is a red flag showing
Yeah.
you that something's up, something's wrong. Maybe you're not taking care of your own needs. Maybe you're exhausted. Nursing mothers, yes, I'm sure you're in that place. Maybe you're eating not maybe you're eating more sugar than you need to be, or maybe you're not eating enough sugar. Maybe you're not getting
Amen.
maybe Maybe you don't have enough sweetness in life. Maybe you're not getting enough of a break from your children. Maybe there's an outlet that you need to have, whether it's exercise or creativity or music or just reading a book or something. You need to have an outlet because you're um, on task, on the job, in the
Yeah.
role of mom all the time, and you just need a break.
Yeah.
And so press into that anger and pay attention. What is it? What is it that you need?
Yeah. So good. When I think that Kinsey and I talk about this. She's actually the one who helped me understand it. But it's like the hierarchy of needs with the mental load that you're carrying. And so
Mm,
it's not necessarily, and when I was processing this with God this last week, I felt like he gave me the language of like anger for me is like a temperature. And so maybe I wake up and I'm only like 98 degrees, whatever, on the inside, and my heart is fine. Or maybe I jump up to 105 because I get woken up by my kid, or whatever. And it's like throughout the day, there's just these things that increase the boiling point inside of me. The temperature rises and rises and rises. And then there's an instance or a moment where it's like it bubbles over. And it's like that moment, if it had happened 3 hours ago, I probably wouldn't have blown up. But because of the constant whatever it is, needs I need to meet, mental, the things I'm thinking about,
yeah.
the things that I don't get to do because I'm doing XYZ as a mom. And
Hmm.
like this is such a dumb story, but like the other day I was so angry and it was like 4 p.m. and I'm like, why am I so mad? What is going on? And I realized I never brushed my teeth that morning. And I just woke up and I hit the ground running and I made breakfast and I did this and I did these meetings and I got this and I cleaned this kid up and I was so mad. Like my my body was
That's
like so mad. And I was like, oh my gosh, my teeth are fuzzy. Like I never got a chance to, and that's disgusting to me. And I just went to the bathroom and I just cried and I just brushed my teeth for like 3 minutes. My toddler's just standing there brushing her teeth because she loves to brush her teeth. And I just like that to me was like, okay, that's anger. Like it's not that I'm an angry person. It's just
yeah,
this
that's good.
internal temperature kept rising up inside of me all day long. And then I explode. And that's like my only way. That's like the lie I'm believing is it's my only way. I can't control it. Like what happens when you start boiling a pot of water? You put it on heat for long enough, it is gonna bubble over. And it
Uh-huh.
it just was that realization of like, okay, there's something internal that is getting stirred up in me every single day now that I'm in this season. And it wasn't that way. Like I would get mad at
Hmm.
Jared and Jared and I would have fights when we in the early years of our marriage that were not fun and I would feel that feeling. But
Pre-kids, right?
pre-kids, yeah. And it had gotten so much better that I kind of forgot about that feeling. And I would feel frustrated about life or disappointed or whatever, but not angry. And after
Hmm.
having Harvey, it felt like that internal temperature was getting kicked up literally every single day. And it's that
Hmm.
mental load and it's that meeting those needs constantly and dying to myself. Like I've never had to do it like this before in my life. And
Hmm.
it's so challenging.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. And I just want to encourage you moms out there. There's going to be more during the day that you're going to have to die to than you can ever imagine. But I give you full permission to go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, drink water, sit and eat your lunch.
Yeah.
I give you permission to do that, to build some boundaries in place where you are taking care of your needs. I get you because it goes back to that airplane, if you don't take care of your needs, if you don't take a
Yeah.
good big swig of
Put your
oxygen,
oxygen mask on.
y-
Yeah. How are you going to help
yes,
anybody?
you're
Yeah.
not going to help anybody. You're passed out angry over there, because you
Well,
don't
and
have
this
any
is like a
oxygen, if you will.
silly this is a silly example, but like even seeing it as loving your future self. So it's 9 a.m. and
Yes.
all the kids are eating and you think like, oh, I don't have the time to eat. Think about yourself at 1 p.m. You're going to be a more angry mom at 1 p.m. if you don't take care of your 9 a.m. self. And so it's almost like this
Mhm.
motivator. I'm preaching to myself right now as I externally process, but it's like I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to choose to take care of myself, even if the two kids are both screaming in stereo so I can take 3 bites of eggs. Like, I'm just gonna do it because I know that it's gonna help myself lower that temperature, regulate myself for the rest of the day. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that, taking care of kids is a sacrifice, but it's not. Yeah, it's yeah. You gotta take care of yourself first. And I think that sometimes if you'll give yourself permission to see yourself as a little kid too,
yeah.
as a as I'm you're taking care of the little girl in you. The little girl in me right now needs a piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go to the pantry and I'm going to shut the door, and my own little girl is going to stand outside the door while I eat a piece of chocolate
Very confused.
because I don't want to fight my real little girl, but I want to feed my little girl,
Yeah.
myself, the little girl. And so I think if we can do that, once again, if we can see anger as a red flag that something else is going on, there's something more.
Good.
There's more. That the pitcher is empty. If you're pouring out all day long, you don't have it filled up enough. Um, but also know that you know, fruit of the spirit is self-control. And so we can choose to control ourselves as much as we possibly can, but reality is we need the Holy Spirit to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need his fruit to do that. And so I just think the Lord is so sweet to just sit there and say, are you going to ask? Are you going to ask me for it? Are you
Yeah.
going to surrender? Are you going to submit? Because I got it. It's right here. I got a giant plate of patience for you. I have got more self-control than you can even handle. Are you going to show me that are you going to invite me
Yeah.
in? Are you going to choose that? And I think so many times as moms, we just plow ahead and we just
Yeah.
face the day. We get out of bed and we run 100 miles an hour and we never even stop to ask the Lord to give us our daily bread, to give us our daily manna. We just go because we're superwoman, right? I mean, at least that's what the world
Yeah.
tells us that we should be.
Well, my parents wrote a micro book. It's called Overcoming Anger. So, quick plug, if you don't own it, you can get it on our website. You can also get it through Amazon, but it's just really short. And there's a quote in here that I want to read because you touched on self-control. But in it, it says self-control isn't actually willpower. It actually comes from having a safe place to take your hurt and your disappointment instead of transferring it into your family. So this is self-control, specifically talking about anger, obviously. But it just was this idea that I've been thinking about, which it was like, I ask God for his fruits in my life. And like the best way for me to do that is to make an exchange. He is my safe place that I come to take my hurt, my disappointment. I'm standing there crying, brushing my teeth because I haven't had a chance to all day. That's my moment with him. And it's in
That's
that
good.
place that I exchange the anger, I exchange whatever I'm feeling
Good.
for fruit. And so, yes, I agree, Mom, that it comes in abundance, but he still wants the moment, the like connection
Mhm.
to make the exchange. He wants us to invite him in and not do it all on our own. And that's what I felt like when we decided this letter to talk about it and I picked this topic, I started asking God some questions just in any quiet spaces I had. And this is so convicting, but I feel like God was basically saying to me like, Macy, you haven't sown into my fruit. And so why would you expect it to like show up in your parenting? Like, and he kind of showed me a picture of like a garden. He was like, you haven't really planted many seeds. One, because it's so new and so early. I've only been parenting for a couple of years, barely, like it's really just been keeping the humans alive up until this
Right.
point. But it's like, what does it even mean to like sow into the fruits of the spirit, to like to desire to respond like Jesus would respond and not out of my flesh. And that just kind of blew my mind that it was like, okay, self control is not something that I innately have in me. It is a gift from God, it is a fruit of exchanging and dwelling with his spirit. So if I don't spend time with him or I don't sow into my space with him, why would I ever expect to just be able to handle the craziness of
Mhm.
life that
That's
is
so
happening?
good.
Like that's
Yeah.
and it like clicked for me and I was like, "Oh, I really do need to spend time with him if I want to see his fruit show up in my life." I think it's always there, like he's always there and he can give us what we need in the moment, but I think there's also a level of intimacy that he wants with us to sow into it and
Abs-
produce it.
Absolutely. It reminds me of the scripture, the story where the disciples were trying to cast out the demons and they couldn't, and Jesus answers them with, "This kind only comes out with prayer and fasting." And
Mhm.
so it wasn't that Jesus stopped and prayed and fasted right there. It said he'd had a lifetime of praying and fasting. So he had the authority in God to get rid of the demons. And
Right.
so that's exactly what you're saying. A lifetime of praying and fasting, a lifetime investing in your relationship with Jesus will give you what you need in the moments in the day-to-day parenting.
Well,
I mean,
and then I get frustrated about that, and then I start having anger about that because then I'm like, I want to spend 30 minutes to an hour with God every day. I want to. Please, like, make a way for that to happen, God, because I'm not waking up early enough with my infant to do that, and that's on me. I'm not going to bed at a reasonable time. I'm watching a show at night instead. That's on me. But there are over 12 hours in the day that I am spending meeting everyone else's needs. I can't get like a 30-minute smoke break, to like a 30-minute spirit break, to go spend time, just like I get all riled up about that too, because I'm like, man, the desire is there. It's the discipline
yeah,
and the execution amidst, like we said, the mental load and the constant meeting needs. And then I mean, I'm such a black and white, good or bad person, Enneagram 1. And I'm like, well, I'm just a bad follower of Jesus then. If I can't manage all this, I'm just a bad mom and I'll always be a bad mom because I can't seem to find time to spend with God. And so I'll just always be angry, and I just start getting into
yeah,
that
yeah,
spiral
yeah.
of like
Downward
always and
spiral.
nevers
Yeah,
and lies and hopelessness and just the exact place the enemy wants me to be. And I think that I just don't think I'm alone in that. And it feels so
absolutely
new to
not.
me, but I feel like there are moms out there that feel like they're in the same boat. And so you are not alone. And I love I don't know if this is the direction we're going, but I love some of the practical things that my mom intentionally did to stop anger from marking her parenting. And I think we can do it. Like it is possible to not be an angry
Mhm.
parent for our whole parenting journey. But I don't think we're just going to wake up one day and like things, maybe when we're empty nesters, like you said, like we're going to wake up one day, life isn't as hard.
When you don't have anything to make you angry,
Yeah,
you
it's
just don't get
easy.
angry.
But I want it now, and I really do desire it now to be a mom that, and this is the other thing I was going to say really quick. um the book The Overcoming Anger, it says kids with angry parents often choose to withdraw. They choose to lie or hide things from their parents, and they actually become fearful instead of respectful. We describe anger as punching a child in the heart, not physically but emotionally. The wounds are real even when they're unintentional. Once we understand how costly anger is to relationships, our desire to change will increase. And I feel like that's my heartbeat. I'm like, when I think about Selah's face, when I think about
Yeah,
the things that could be created in her character or in our relationship because of me choosing anger, I, it makes me sad, but it puts this fire in my belly of like, I've got to figure this out. Like, I've got to wake up
yeah.
tomorrow morning and like, go after the things of God to help me combat the things of my flesh. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to be a respecter of anger. You've got to be in control. We've got to be in control of anger. We've got to see anger as a red flag. I'm not saying get rid of anger, but I'm saying by all means use it, to see what God is saying to you. You think about Jesus going in and turning over the tables. He wasn't out of control. He
yeah.
always had self-control. That was very planned. So there's times and places for anger. Anger is not bad. And so I just want to lay that down there right now. Sometimes the way we show our anger, especially if it comes from a selfish place or a place of victim, that we feel
Yeah.
like we're being taken advantage of, or if it's a selfish thing, it's not righteous anger, then that kind of anger can be destructive. And so that was actually what motivated me to change, was to see you guys, because I have such empathy, and to see your little faces and to realize that I was the fruit that I was trying to, the seeds I was trying to plant in you guys. I wanted you to be confident. I wanted you to be secure. I wanted you to, conquer the world. I wanted you to be a kingdom leader. And my anger was usurping that.
Yeah.
And it was actually robbing you of all of those things. And so that's what motivated me to get on top of it, because I wanted the very best for you. Had to set myself aside, lay myself aside, my will, my desires, all of that. Which is very, very hard to do if, once again, you're not filled up, moms. If you're not taking
Yeah.
care of yourself, if the little girl in you, the angry little girl in you, is not addressed. And so there's some great practical things to do. Forgiveness is part of that, asking God,
Mhm.
asking the person. And I just want to say that, mom, if you're hard on yourself like Macy is, and you do have angry outbursts, it's not all wasted. Just stop, acknowledge it, ask God to forgive, ask the child to forgive you, and move on. I mean, that's where it feels like I have amazing children. I mean, you guys heard Macy. She's incredible, So I didn't ruin her with my anger. She's not rotten because of my anger. Um, I just think that forgiveness is powerful.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is a superpower, and it comes in and it removes all of our. And so if you do respond in anger somewhere along the way in the next day or two, then just ask for forgiveness and it
Yeah.
washes it away.
Yeah. So good. I think another really good practical that you taught me slash our content has taught me is the getting on the same side of the line. The picture, I think it's in the kid to
Mm,
parent to kid relationship in our
mhm.
guides. Another plug for product. If you don't have our guides, go buy our guides because a lot of this stuff is in there. Just the foundation of like what kind of parent we think God calls us to be. But it talks about how like your family's a team, you're on the same team. But a lot of times when it comes to a decision or a transition or any sort of conflict, it feels like you and your kid are on different sides of the line. And I actually say that to Selah, like the shoes, for instance, if she
Yeah.
wants to wear one set of shoes and I want her to wear something else, I'll say, hey, Selah, we are actually on the same team. And the reason I want you to do this is because we're going to the park and I don't want you to get, wood in your shoes at the park. And that's what Crocs have, whole, blah, blah. And it's just like, how do we talk to each other in a respectful way that we get on the same side of the line? And I'll say, can we work together to figure out a
Yeah.
solution or answer? Can we be a team? And I'll, again, don't do it perfect, but when I do, it's like I'm watching the wheels in her head turning of like, do I trust this lady? Like, do I
Yeah.
really think she has the best intentions for me? And there was one time I'm like, this is the light, this tiny little light in this dark tunnel of anger I'm living in right now. But it was like, we got to this park and she chose to wear her tennis shoes and not her Crocs. And we got back in the car afterwards. And she was like, Mom, I said, did you have fun in the park? She's like, I had so much fun. I didn't hurt my feet. And I was like, you didn't hurt your feet? Why? And she was like, my tennis shoes protected my feet. And I was like, yes, and I got to say, like, we are on the same team. We did that to protect your feet, and it just like, it was this moment of like, okay, I want to be on your team. I want anything more than anything to champion you and avoid the meltdown fit. How do I do that in any given moment when we come up to a confrontation, we come up to something that triggers me? So I try and remember that. And then the other biggest thing I feel like you and dad always tell us is like, ask questions. Don't always assume that they're choosing
Yeah.
disobedience or they're choosing to make you mad. Like, pause and try and understand. Like, see your anger as a signal and then say, like, okay, like what's going on here, and even like the way
Mhm.
you say it and say, like, going back to the angry mom eyes, Selah will say that to me now. I'll say, Selah, I'm starting to feel frustrated because you're not obeying. And she'll say, let me see your eyes. And she'll like want me to see like how boiling are you, mom, and I'll show her my eyes and I'm like, I'm trying to be patient, but my eyes are in my body is feeling more frustrated the longer you're taking or whatever. And so we're getting this language, we're figuring it out, but it's like trying to understand each other and understand the why and get unified on our goal is one way that I'm starting to see anger dissipate in our relationship. Not frequently enough that I would say it's working, but I'm seeing a tiny bit of hope of like, I'm looking for the why and
Absolutely.
I'm looking for unity to try and help with the things that make me so angry.
Yes, you're laying the groundwork, and that's all that can be done, especially in those younger years.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. We could talk for hours about anger. We could talk for absolute hours. It's just powerful. I mean, it's just a powerful emotion, and it carries a
Yeah.
lot of it carries a lot of influence with it. And so just know that. And so to the mom out there that is angry, we encourage and challenge you to really press into it,
Yeah.
understand it, see what's going on there, see what's at the root of it, give it to the Lord, throw forgiveness at it, any direction that it comes out, and see how radically different the environment and the culture of your home will change when
Yeah.
you decide not to be an angry mom anymore.
Yeah. And you should really buy this deep dive because there's other letters in there that will relate to you, I'm sure. But my mom also gives a lot of practicals, and I think that's why we did this podcast. We didn't want to give away everything in the deep dive. We wanted to kind of whet your appetite a little bit, but I think the strategy that she talks about in the deep dive will radically change your family and my struggle with anger if we like actually did it. So you got to get the deep dive if you want those tips and tricks, or the micro book. There's some of that in there too, the overcoming anger book. But it really is. I mean, I feel encouraged after talking about this, but I don't want any mom to feel alone. If they're
Oh,
struggling day after
yes.
day with outbursts and they're like, everyone else has got it all together because I see them at church or I see them at small group and they're so nice to their kids or whatever. It's like, no, you're not in it every day. You don't know what home life is like, and you are not alone if you are struggling as a mom or a dad who is angry, and there's
Absolutely.
hope.
Yes. Yeah, I was just going to say, yes, get some help. Invest in it and change it. Like I said, I went to a seminar,
Yeah.
um, and was really, and did, devotionals on that and really pressed in and met with the Lord. And so, yeah, it is a work. I mean, I just believe that I believe God gives us the handpicked each and every person in our lives, for sure our spouse, but our children. And I think they're a gift that he's given to us. And I think that he makes them, and it makes me laugh, Macy, because you said triggers, he makes them, gives us
Push the
children that
buttons.
pushes our
Yeah.
buttons, because our
Yeah.
buttons are the very things where we cry out to God and need him more, because we
Yeah.
think we're so self-sufficient. And so I think that it's no small thing that anger is boiling up, because God has a work that he wants to do in you, and he wants to give you peace, and he wants to
Yeah.
give you understanding. He wants to carry your burden. His yoke is easy, his burden is light. He wants all of that from you. And sometimes we just are so self-sufficient that we don't need the creator of the universe or the savior of the world. We don't need that. And so knowing that our 2-year-old's going to push a button or two and give us some anger shows us, oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So you're not alone. Be encouraged and buy the deep
Yes.
dive to learn
And we
how to
love
fix your
you.
anger. And reach out to, like, if you have questions or like a personal situation, we'd love to kind of give direction in that way too. You can always email us at podcast@crazycoolfamily.com.
Yes. And Macy, we also, in the podcast that we did with Macy, with Mackenzie, I did say that on the deep dive, there's 10 letters to the mom that, but if you've got if moms out there, if you've got a, wait, what about I'm doing this, or I need
Yeah.
a letter about this, then we invited them to send it at
Oh, perfect.
info@crazycoolfamily.com.
Yeah.
And so info podcast, it'll get to us anyway. But yes, if
Yeah.
you've got I'm a mom that needs this, we would love to personally write a letter to you about whatever it is that you're struggling with or blessed by or anything else like that. So, all right, you want to wrap us up?
Wrap us up. Thanks, Mom, for being an angry mom so you can help me be a less angry mom. We hope this encouraged you. And as always, we love you, moms. And if you are a mom listening to this, go share it with someone else. If you are a dad listening to this,
and your wife's angry, maybe very gently share it with her.
pray for her first. And just share it with whoever God tells you to. We're really grateful for you guys, and we love that you listen to our podcast. Email us and go be crazy, crazycoolfamily.com.